Alright guys, this is another one here with the FSC Carbine. Yeah, this is we got this, I did a video here yesterday. We got about 186 joules. We got the massive air chamber, and I got another little air chamber stuck right before it. It's wide open, and then I added an extension on the barrel. So yeah, we're gonna see if we can get a little, see if we can crack that 200 mark. For 1100 psi, it's pretty darn good, but if I up the psi, we'll easily get in. But I'm just trying to get it with just by using 1100 psi. So yeah, like all the short, the stock area is taken off, and we just got this little jerry rig. So yeah, let's give it a go. I got 2 smasher rounds in there, and I got 3 Canada riot balls. They're going to be shooting first. So 3 9.9 first, then 2 8.6 gram ones. Alright, so we're going to stand here. Just shooting down to a trap down there. It's a crossbow netting. I need new batteries in this crony. Okay, so yeah, let's just give it a go. Okay. That was a 9.9 ball. Wow. Oh my God, this thing has a kick. Woo! Now for the light balls. Actually. Holy shit. Holy shit. My magazine just shot out the bottom and literally blew all that air out. Like, this is barely, hold on, we'll get at that in a second. Okay, so, oh my God, what the hell happened here? Okay, let's take a look at this now. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, so let's get this camera. Those are some crazy numbers. Oh my God. 695 with 9.9 grams. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me get a reading first on that. Let me show you the screen here quickly. Hold on. What did I say that was? 695? Yep, 695. The other two was 670 and 672. Oh boy, that's 221 joules. Oh my God. Yeah, that thing had a kick. So we're definitely in the 200 joule club now, with a less lethal marker. I mean, if I up the PSI to like 1250, that's going to be like 260, 270 probably. Or 1300 PSI. Like, yeah, that's just 1100 PSI I'm using, guys. Anyways, let me just show you what happened to this. Woo! That's a whole pile of air we got there. So, here's my drum. It shot the spring out. All the ammo come out, all the air come out. This little piece here on the side, I don't know where that was. It was glued on the side somewhere. shit, I don't know where that goes. But yeah, this piece was on the side somewhere. My whole magazine just shot right at the bottom and then you guys heard it. Just drained my tank. But yeah, I have all kinds. Dan sent me a bunch of detents and stuff for in here. I have to switch out. There's detents and there's ball detents. He's got metal ones he sent me, plastic ones. I should have actually installed those. There's a reason why he sent those to me. So far I just put in the modified bolt spring, and he also sent me one of those brass piercer things that goes down into this part right here. He sent me a piece, a modified version of that, and a bunch of other springs. I got to install all this. So basically all I did was put a bolt spring on so far. I don't think I was about to install that piece, but I didn't yet, so I'm gonna do all this again, and I'll try and get back at this one more time. But yeah, guys, like, this is what I got here. I made out of it. I know this piece goes on the side. It's steel. I don't know where. I will find it. We kind of loosened up the mag here, broke the glue off because I know it was sealed with glue. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna re-glue that down. I'll probably JB weld it since I got some here. I don't have any crazy glue or nothing, but I'm gonna go to JB. So yeah, my mag's still intact, which is a good thing. See it right there? You can see the glue residue from his glue. So yeah, I'm gonna do that too. I might even make a strap. Hold on, if I have any meat. How much meat in the plastic do we have? Oh, we got quite a bit right there. I might do a drill a micro hole in that, a hole in here and a hole in here, and then put a steel plate over it. And then steel the plate like that, and then another steel plate on this side, just for extra security. And I might be able to flatten this down and make a little rig here to secure it right to the back of there too as well. I don't know how much room. I just have to go look and see how much meat I have to drill and tap with. But anyway, it's not a big deal. I just have to put these new detents in and that won't happen again. I don't know anyway. This is new to me, so it's not really modified. So, and like I said, I got a box of parts. Where are they all? Yeah, there's somewhere. I think they're down here. Yeah, where all this Loctite and shit is. There's one of the parts right there too. Another. Oh wait. Yeah, I got it here somewhere because it's all this Loctite stuff. So it's down here. I got all my springs and shit. Anyways, I'll get to that. But holy jeez, boy. 221 joules with 1100 psi. So it's official. I was in the 200 joule club. This ain't important to me, man. This is just a test. This is just for fun. No way in hell should you ever be using 220 unless you have intentions on being lethal and fatal. Because that deer, you hit somebody with that, it's good night. That's going right through their coat, that's going right into them. Easily. Oh, with ease, that's going. 100 joules will penetrate into your coat. Easily. So yeah, man, like if you're hunting pests or bears in your yard, wildcats, this is something you could get rid of them with easily. Like even a bear, man, that 200 joules, that would probably penetrate into a bear. Probably wouldn't kill him, but it'd probably penetrate into him. Enough to cause him some serious pain for the rest of his life. Anyways, I'm not discussing hunting or any of this. This is just a fatal amount. 40 to 60 joules is all you ever need, man. In between there, 40 to 45 with 50 cal steel bearings, and then 68 cal, I like to go around 50 to 60. That's what I feel comfortable with. I shot myself with around 40, so I felt that, and I say an extra 20 joules more than that would be perfect for me. Because I know, like, I have a lot of tough friends too, and there's like some of the people, they can walk right through 30 joules, man. Even though they take a beating, they're just rubberheads. So imagine a drug addict, he's whacked out, who's just determined. And if you shoot him with some 20 joule gun, he's gonna be pissed. Anyways, yeah, guys, so basically all I got here is different from the last test. We just got an extra 40 joules, roughly 35 joules from by adding this little guy right there with the Sterling Self-Defense logo on it, and just adding another few centimeters of barrel here. Don't count the muzzle, but yeah, we just put an extra 6 inches of barrel on. So it makes a good rifle. It shoots shape projectiles too, so if you can get some shape projectiles, they'll fly better than the round balls will, especially at longer distances. But yeah, guys, so next I'm going to put all these mods in that Dan sent me, which I should have done a long time ago, and this wouldn't have happened. So yeah, all I know is this goes on the side. There's obviously a reason for it, or Scott wouldn't have put it on there. I just don't remember where it went. Oh, I know it was on the side here somewhere. Oh, it's driving me nuts. No, it's not there. Definitely not there. Oh, there it goes. Right there. I found it. Okay. Boom! It just clicks in there. Okay, so that just has to be glued in. Wow, man. You should have seen that thing just jack out of the barrel. I think I got a jam. And then, I don't know, I hit the mag release button and it just poof like a rocket. And then all the air blew out. That's just very strange. I'm not very familiar with the FSC yet, so I'm going to open it up and I'm going to familiar myself with it and figure this thing out. Like, I can't believe I haven't got one of these long time ago. I was just turned off by the ugly look of it. The big, bulky, square, ugly look. But, and then plus all the videos I see, they're just not as reliable as I like them to be. They jam, they fail and shit, just like the M17. But if you can get it tuned, I mean, properly, it should do the job. It's got the power, as y'all seen. Anyways, y'all stay safe, guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next. I'm going to use my power plenum stock, so we're not going to have this big, bulky rig up here. We're just going to have one of these. Where is it? Right here. Just going to be a short stock buffer tube. Same thing, we're going to have the tank coming out the side. But the difference is... Oh, come on. 1 second here. There. Okay. So there, here's the buffer tube. So what I've done with this is I've hollowed it out on the inside. With the Umrex markers, like I get up to 150 joules with these I can in an HDR 50. The video I showed you guys, about 143. But yeah, I drilled that all the way deep down. I can't get a good light image so you can see down in there. Here. And I've also backfilled this one too. Oh my god, yeah, that goes down there deep. Anyways. Yeah, so we're going to put that on. This is a big air chamber too, so we just screw that into the threads. To make an extra air chamber, I can screw it into these threads right here. Keep this little power plenum on for extra kick. And this here, I can drill back as deep as I want, so it'll replace all the air in this big giant monster. So, I already backfilled this once. I drilled it all the way back here. But when you start using too much air, like your pin's only so big, right? The Umrex pins are around 6mm. The FSC, VKS, and M17 and X68 are a lot bigger, man. They're like, I don't know, they're much wider, way larger pins, so it'll allow more air to pass. That's why you can get the bigger numbers out of those guns. So, but what you have to do is, in the Umrex guns, I only went back to about here, and it was enough to get me 150 joules. So, I went back like this, all the way down here with the Umrex gun, and my numbers were just jumping all over the place. And then I did it with other guns, and it just doesn't work. Same thing with the TC68. When you use too much air on the TC68, it'll just fart out. It doesn't like giant air chambers. But yeah, so I backfilled it with resin. Somewhere back to around here somewhere I got it. I think this one looks actually pretty deep. Where's my flashlight? Hold on. Let's solve this mystery right now. Okay, yeah, I did backfill it because you can see the resin down there. See that blob of resin? It's all back built. I've already shot to this. It's safe. It's fine. So yeah, it comes right about to where my thumb is. Probably where those markings are. Somewhere around here. If you look down in. Yeah, it's somewhere down where my thumb is. It matches in there. So with this FSC, I can drill this one back further. So yeah. So basically, yeah, we're just gonna have. Here, let me sit you down here for a minute. Jesus, I'm so unorganized. I know. Alright, so we got our tank off. Now look, that's the rig. It's just some NPT fittings. I've got it tapped and threaded into an ASA on-off. The twisty on-off, I just put threads on this one too. I have threads on my other one. So if you can see in here, I tapped some new threads. So now, I can take this guy off. Right here. I can take him off. And then I can screw this guy right in now. And that could be a permanent setting. I can also take it out and use it normally with these outer threads. So now it works for NPT fittings and normal HPA threads. Oh, I love these things. A lot of these things are tappable. I got a lot of them that are tapped. Got another one right here I tapped. So they go good for those permanent mounted side tank builds. Perfect for those builds. And once you have them thread tight or Loctite on, they don't unscrew easy. So when you're screwing your tanks in and out, it's not going to unscrew it. But yeah, so take that guy out, and then this will go in. Back up one turn, then we tie the knot with this. And now boom, I can mount my tank on the side. I can use any kind of stock I like. So I can use any mil-spec stock. Boom. So yeah, now I can keep my stock nice and short. And now I can have my tank come out here on the side, or on this side, whatever side I want it on. Whatever side, if you're lefty or righty. So, that's how it's going to look. I mean, if you take this air chamber off, it'll come in and it'll be really short. That's really short. Like, this is really nice and compact. This is perfect. If you go shorter, it's really, really compact. Like for a child. It'd be perfect for a child. But, yeah, it's not long. You can still come out and adjust more with your stock. And then, once you mount these fittings on the side, you'll have a tank in. You can put it really close to the marker, so you don't have to have it way the hell up here. Anyways, I'll let you guys know. I'll show you guys when I get to it. So, you all stay safe, guys, and take care.